Kings, queens, and in-betweens, welcome back to another episode of City Boys. As always, my name is Jacob, and I am joined by two of my best friends, and we just sit here and talk ball. So stick around and watch us talk ball. Ethan, how are you doing today, brother?
Another day in paradise, gentlemen. It's the on the script, but it always is because it's a great time when I'm talking about soccer with some of my best friends. I will never get over that. I love doing this. Grayson, how are you doing, boss man?
I'm doing fantastic, y'all. I'm doing really good. Just made some moves towards uh just upping our videography game for next
Ooh,
season. So I'm
Okay,
excited
okay.
to for this next season for City Boys, getting some more boots on the ground, getting some good shots of the stadium, and bringing some really next level City Boys content to you guys. So be on the lookout for that.
I'm hype. I can't wait.
I am so desperate for the season to start. Like a lot of non-MLS season, my time is taken up with the NFL, and with that
Mhm.
about to be over, I just need city soccer injected into my veins as soon
Yeah.
as possible.
I
Less than a
will
month
say,
away.
yeah, we're getting there. We're so close. And luckily, like these these MLS spotlights we've been doing have been keeping me invested in the MLS. So I feel like I'm getting even more and more excited as we get closer to it. And yeah, hearing about all these crazy signings, it just makes it even worse. Like today, we just found out that Neymar is not going to Chicago Fire. So that's a big relief for me, at least.
That is a victory for the City Boys since the Neymar information was released after we had recorded the Chicago Fire spotlight.
That is our curse. We film a spotlight. There's more news for that specific team as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe we just need to knock out this St. Louis City episode just so we can get some new signings immediately. But
Speaking of new signings, have we covered Connor Wallum at all?
Conrad, is it Conrad?
My bad,
It's
Oh, you're
Conrad
good.
Wallum.
Conrad.
Yeah,
Conrad.
not
Yeah, not formally. I
not
guess
formally.
we need to knock out a little City in 60 on him too. Sound off
Facts.
in the comments if you guys want to hear that. But yeah, I can't lie. I don't know too much about him. Slavia Prague um is a Slavia Prague or Red Star Belgrade? Am I tripping? Which team was it?
Slavia Prague.
Okay.
Yep, Europa League experience for the lad. I think he's very promising. St. Louis City has really just added into their depth this season, which is why I can't wait for next season. There are so many different ways that we can go about it. And with a new manager, I think the league doesn't know what's coming because we don't know what's coming. No one really knows what's coming right now.
The team looks so different, like from a year ago today. The roster is deeper in every position. We look on paper so dangerous and like I mean, I have it in our St. Louis City spotlight, but I'll say it here as well. Mark my words, folks. We're going back to the mountaintop.
I like the idea of this. Did you guys see or hear about our preseason match from the other day? Our very first behind closed doors preseason match.
We did.
We
We
lost that
we
one, didn't
did
we?
We did
drop one
lose.
nil to New England.
We also had
It-
a wholesale line change at halftime, so
yeah,
Yeah, not smart to put a lot of stock into these
yeah,
preseason results in
yeah.
general.
yeah. I wouldn't necessarily. I was a little surprised by the result. We came up against the New England Revolution and their also, preseason squad. We're actually about to film their city spotlight here in a second. So that'll be interesting to cover, but they are also a team in a very big year of transition. So, yeah, I wouldn't let this preseason matchup bear too much on the minds of you St. Louis fans because I'm very certain that we will improve uh, and we will see some better games before the season starts. I know we have a lot of preseason matchups coming up soon as the team is in Florida for preseason. So we're gonna have a couple really good matchups to chat about here pretty soon. Maybe we'll do some live streams. We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll be in touch.
We've also got, we can't really tease any of it, but we have some like really crazy content that's going to be coming out for the City Boys as well. Like
It's
Grayson did
true.
a thing. We're not going to get into Grayson's thing, but he did a thing.
I did a thing. A thing
Um,
has happened, and it was pretty insane. And if I say much, I will get fined.
If
If
I
I speak, I
speak,
am in big trouble.
If I
so
speak,
Grayson
I will be fined.
allegedly Grayson did a thing. Allegedly Grayson did a thing.
from what we
Rumor
hear from
has
our
it.
sources, Grayson did do a thing.
So it very soon you guys will find out about said thing, and we can all be very excited about it together because it was pretty crazy. Um, but
We
yes, it's very soon, very soon.
we also have, in addition to the interview we filmed that's happening here in a couple minutes, we
Whoa.
also have a couple of other crazy interviews that are going to be coming out of this podcast as well.
Y'all are
Some
not ready.
very high caliber, very soccer nerd in the weeds interviews on the way. Which a year ago today, I didn't think that I would be in that type of room, let alone recording it. So definitely watch out for that as well.
Expecting some big things coming up. And yeah, I mean, the weather's starting to get a little warmer, very, very slowly and slightly, but I just can't wait for that first whistle kickoff, baby. It's
It was
coming.
24 degrees when I started my car today.
It was 4 degrees the day before that. So I'll take it.
No, I'm really hyped for this season to get started, though. This is going to be an excellent season 2 for us and a very big season 3 for City. But I'm most excited to hit 100 subscribers before the season starts. We are so close. So before this interview starts, make sure and hit that subscribe button because we really appreciate it. It's the best way to support the channel. And yeah, we want to grow the beautiful game for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah. With that being said, let's just get into the interview. Kings, Queens, and In-Betweens, welcome back to a very special episode this week with a very, very special guest. We have Sisi on this week. She is one of the co-founders of STL Santos, as well as the current chief of staff. If you've been a part of Santos, you've definitely seen her and probably talked with her. And if you're looking to get involved, she's definitely a great resource. And that's kind of what this episode is going to be about. So without further ado, give a really, really warm City Boys welcome to CC.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Happy to be here.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you.
How's everyone feeling tonight?
Feeling amazing. It's been a while since we filmed an episode too, so it's good to be here, and it's good to have a guest always. It's always good to have a good guest from around St. Louis City. And of course, if you're a St. Louis fan, you know the Santos. You hear them at every game.
Iconic.
So it's about time we had someone from Santos here to represent on the City Boys podcast. So yeah, we're very excited to have you this week.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to come on, and we're excited to share your message.
So we're excited this weekend. We're going to have our annual member assembly. So we will be gathering on 2/2 at 2. So making it really for people to remember at La Calle. And so we're inviting all of our members in. Anyone who's really interested in learning more about Santos, we'll be having our elections. So we run a pretty democratic system within our supporters group. So we elect all of our board members. So excited to bring on 3 new board members as of this weekend.
Ooh, 3 new board members. We got 3 City Boys right here.
Hey, I regret to inform you that if you're not already in membership, it could be pretty hard to be on.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I'm gonna bow myself out very quickly, but
You can really work on 2026 if you'd like.
yeah, we can build a good campaign for next season. So you mentioned that 3 positions are opening up. Do you know which? Can you tell us which 3 positions and what
Yeah.
they entail?
Yeah, so the way we run it is we actually change all of our executive positions every year. So we bring on, our board consists of 9 folks. There are 4 executive positions, and then once these new folks are on, between the new group of 9, they'll be able to elect president, vice president, chief of staff, as well as treasurer. So, we really run it so that we can make sure that we're hearing our members' voices. And then through them, those elected members get to really drive how we're going to run for the season.
Yeah, so as the chief of staff and also a co-founder of Santos, I wanted to hear from you, like, how did Santos come to be? If you would like to share a little bit about the history of the Santos
Yeah,
organization.
so it's really fun, really organic, to be honest. So, several of our members started, by going to FC games, right? And they, enjoyed obviously the soccer community. And one in particular used to always wear a luchador mask. And so he goes by El Guapo. He went by El Guapo then. Within Santos, that's kind of one of our things. We have like crazy nicknames. And you can't choose your own nickname. You kind of have to be anointed.
Okay.
It's kind of a bizarre thing, and they mutate over time. But anyway, El Guapo used to go to FC games and wear the luchador mask. And so, kind of in between when MLS was announced and, and NFC kind of was, discontinued, there was really this concept of like, how are we going to make sure that Latinos know about what's going to go on with MLS. A lot of them maybe weren't fans of FC, but obviously come from a culture of the love of the game. And so it really was founded on how are we going to get information to folks in, and it was going to be just that, just an information kind of valve. And then as things kind of started developing, it was like, well, why not make an actual group, similar to, just soccer culture and how these supporters groups come to be, and they all kind of have their own niche. And so that's where it came from. And that's where the luchador mask comes from. It's the homage back to El Guapo, and kind of how he would enjoy the games. You obviously see luchador masks and other groups and things, but it's kind of fun. Santos has a throwback to an actual luchador, but also it means saints in St. Louis. So works really well. It's something everyone can pronounce. So that's really how it came to be. I am not a soccer fan. Ironically, I know, sacrilegious, why am I?
Wow.
But I organize people, and I organize Latinos often, and I love community things. So for me, it was more about building the community, and soccer was the why and the how. But we could do so much just by bringing everyone together.
That's beautiful.
I love that. Truly, yeah. Building community around the game that we love is like, that's a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
And the Latino community is super vital to American sports especially the growth of soccer in USA. So yeah, that's super, super cool to have a group specified for Latinos to get involved with the St. Louis soccer community as well. That's a really beautiful thing.
The thing that's kind of wild is, obviously we started with this idea of like communicating in Spanish, but we've really kind of turned into experiencing the game through our lens and with our spice, but not necessarily always in our language. We have actually members of our group. We have over 800 members, and they're from 30 different countries. There are not 30 Latino countries. So we have folks from all over the place. We have really active we have one really active member from Turkey. And like, I mean,
Special.
folks from all over the place. So we really look at things in a Spanglish way. Oftentimes it's just in English, but it's got this Spanish like spice just kind of thrown in there, which really just kind of changes everything. And so we love that. We love that folks of all backgrounds want to be around us and just kind of experience kind of with our energy, and like they bring their energy too, and that just makes it even more fun.
That's really
That's
cool.
beautiful.
I think I could probably speak for the 3 of us, but through soccer in St. Louis, I grew up um, in and around the Mexican culture. I've got a lot of Latino friends from back in my youth, way less out here in Portland, just because I don't have a very big circle out here anyways. But it was always like I always had more fun experiencing the game with my Mexican friends, like when we would go play a 3v3 tournament in a park. And then afterwards it'd be like this big family style like barbecue, regardless if you won or lost, and everybody was having a good time. And I was always like very envious because like that's not really how it is in like a CYC community. You just like go to the game and then you go home. So I always enjoyed my time doing that with my friends.
And I feel like we tried doing that in the city experience. If you think about how game day works, you know, everyone has kind of their pre-game party. There's folks over on Luligan Street, they're over by Schlafly, we're over at Pepper Lounge, and we actually start the march at Pepper Lounge. So we do a march to where everybody is, and we literally come behind everyone. They move all the gates. We're like loud and loud, like people are like, what is happening? Where are these people coming from? We thought we were at the party. No, we brought another party. We, you know, kind of infiltrate the space and the jam continues there. We go into the stadium, right? Like as a unified march. Once we actually enter the stadium, the march goes silent, but we don't. We kind of band together just as Santos, because we have within kind of all the percussion and Florida noise and everything. We have Banda Santos, which is a subset. So we have our own musicians, our own type of instruments.
Awesome.
And then we march again within the stadium, like in kind of behind the concourse, behind the supporter section, and into the stands. And then when the game's over, we always do a jam after, win or lose. We jam in the concourse loud, and I mean, the kids that join us, you know, families, everybody, win or lose. Again, that's their point. We're there to be with the team no matter what. You know, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to be upbeat and yell and do all that. But we know it makes a difference, and it's just part of how that experience wraps up, right? As you said, win or lose, you'd have the barbecue. Well, we're gonna do that jam, win or lose. And then we go off to Pepper Lounge and keep going. Like my game day starts, I leave my house at 2 and I get home midnight if I'm lucky, but it's often or 2. So you know, it's a long night again, win or lose.
The full
So
game
is
day
that-
experience. That's beautiful.
Is that a little taste of the chief of staff experience on game day?
Well, not everyone has to do all of the pieces that I do. But you know, I'm kind of like an all-in person, right? And so if that's what's needed to make sure that our instruments and our flags are loaded into the stadium accordingly, that our event goes smoothly, that the game is exciting, that our members feel seen, feel heard, and that you go home, you know, happy no matter what, we'll do it.
That's one big piece of the Santos that I really love is the community aspect, like the futsal tournament where the futsal was a big part of it, but building benches in the community on the south side of St. Louis, where Jacob and I grew up, meant a lot to me. That was really special that the group did that. And at the Bino tournament, Super Santo came and Isabel was cooking tacos. It's always a community style event with the Santos. So I love it. I feel like I'm a part of the Santos. I don't think I'm officially a member, but yeah,
Membership is free.
I claim it. I claim it. I claim Santos membership, and I love being a part of it. It truly is part of the St. Louis City community and the threads of it.
We're happy to be part of it, and we think it, you know, it's important. It's we were running an event at 9 Mile. It was a really big watch party, and this young woman came up to me, and she was from a country in like Central America. I'd never met her before, and she was married to an American man. And she came up, she's like, I just can't tell you how happy I am to be here. And I'm like, yeah, the game's fun. She's like, no, I'm just surrounded by my people. Like this was my growing up experience, and I want that for my son. And I haven't been able to do that for him. And to be able to be surrounded by folks who care about soccer as much as my family did or my father did, you know, I have no other way to do that but through you guys. And I mean, again, that wasn't my life experience, but I was like, if we can do that for you, like, who, you know, if we can do that for more folks, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, it really is a generational game. Just brings people together, and that's such a beautiful thing. I know you mentioned a little bit earlier, but if you want to highlight again, how many active members do you guys have at Santos?
Yeah, so we just crossed over 800 at the start of the year. So and again, that's since our first meeting was end of February, right? It was like maybe 10 days before the first game of 2023.
Wow.
And there were like 12 of us.
Wow.
You know, we had this little like karaoke speaker that's like that I could wear on my shoulder. I mean, that's how I walked around so people could hear what we were saying and we didn't need it. They're like, Sisi, sit down. But yeah, so we were tiny and grew fast and
Wow.
you know, just kind of kept that. I think we ended our first season with just shy of 500 members.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, growing very fast,
Yeah.
growing very fast. That's awesome.
For the people who aren't officially a part of the STL Santos, how could they get involved and what's that process like?
Yeah, for sure. So stlsantos.com is our website. It's easy to sign up online. Once you sign up, you even can see some of the different activities we have to get involved with whether it's so one of the coolest things that happened is because this was all created from zero, we kept creating. So we've got like a volunteer corps with us. We've got what we call Club Deportivo, which is our sporting club. So we run races together. We the folks play pickleball together. They've done soccer tournaments. They've won soccer tournaments that
Ooh,
we didn't host, like ones that other
Okay.
people hosted.
let
And
them
so,
know.
you know, it's just really cool what we're able to do as we, you know, just again, there's going to be one thing in common, and that thing's going to be soccer. It's not even going to be the Latino-ness. It's going to be soccer, Latino second or Latino loving second. And then after that just comes this energy that's just fantastic. And obviously there's volunteering when it comes to doing TIFO. So this last year, you know, we had several activations in the stadium, which is really fun. We can also participate with other groups. You know, you mentioned Ethan, our Derby de Mente and you know, the tournament and the painting that literally came of year one. We're like, oh, we're just gonna do this one, you know, kind of fun game against the punks. And then when we were thinking, so one of my roles is all the community engagement. And
Mhm.
we were thinking of doing the tournament again. And we were like, well, let's change the format a little bit. And I was like, we're in that park, need to do something that makes a difference. Um, and we really like art, as you can see, like our graphics are really
Yeah.
cool. We get really into expressing ourselves through art as well. Um, and so I was like, is there a beautification? Is there something else I can do? And they're like, well, if you want to restore some benches. I was like, no, I want to paint some benches.
Mhm.
And just, you know, give them the same flair that we all like to express ourselves through. And they were all for it. So and kept saying, you sure you don't have any requirements? And they're like, nope. And I'm like, okay, we got it.
We're taking over.
We'll
Mhm,
do it then. We'll do it. Fun.
mhm.
And that's another great thing about the Santos. It's fun for all ages. I know that the painting a tifo is a big task. That's not just your average run-of-the-mill Bob Ross painting class. It's a big piece of canvas that a lot of people are required to paint. What's a volunteer? What's painting a tifo like?
It's awesome. So we've had all sorts of different kinds. You know, I went from kind of our first conference call to our first meeting to painting a tifo all in like 10 days. To like 2 days later, the first game, or you know, a week later. I mean, I literally like jumped in at first. And when you know that first day I went to paint the tifo, the one that was at the inaugural game, I was like, I don't know what I'm walking into. I've never even heard this word tifo up until 2 weeks ago. Um, and you know, it's just larger than life, right? And you start doing, and it's this piece. When you think about all these folks are working together, and you're like painting next to a stranger, and you start meeting them, and you start to get to know how they came into soccer culture.
Wow.
You just start meeting. I don't know. It's just like a really cool. I've probably painted I don't know, like 5 or 6 different ones. They're just all just fun and there's music playing and just like camaraderie working together. One thing we did in the first season, which we're really proud of, is we did the kind of that last tifo that was displayed. And so it said Wall of Sound and it was these bricks and had our
Mhm.
big STL heart in the center. And we really wanted to see how we could involve the fans more because so the tifos are done over this veil of silence. And so how do we let people feel like they're more part of this TIFO because the that fan experience really needs the fans, right? And you need the kind of everybody together. So we painted the TIFO and then invited the community to come sign it. But we were like super hush hush, like we had parts of it covered. We never told them what the design was. They could just see like a little part of it, and families would come and sign. And I actually had the tifo in my garage for a long time. And then we cut all of the pieces so people could come claim their signature. But it was just
That's cute.
impressive how like families came together and they would do works of art. And this one guy came and like his baby looked like it was like 3 months old, and he had his little baby footprints um, on there. So, how do we again bring the community into this experience? Because that's what it feels like in stadium, right? It's like all of us together, really, really encouraging those 11 on the field.
Yeah, I definitely think that
Oh.
Santos is a big part of cultivating what I think is the best MLS fan base, even though we're only 2 years old. I think we're right up there with the tops of the league with support there. So I definitely appreciate all the work that Santos does to better the fan experience every day for St. Louis. So I very much appreciate it. And I look forward
The
to seeing
energy,
what we
right?
do.
If we have the space, we'll run, right? We've got that energy to it's what is going to be our that's our ceiling, right? How much can we keep doing?
Right, right. Um, I guess is there anything else that you want to share for this next season for Santos? Is there any big plans coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I just, continued growth and excitement. So we're gonna continue doing art. We're gonna continue. We've got a new jersey coming out, a new scarf. They're both being unveiled this
Ooh,
Sunday as well. So those will be fun, very different. Um, you know, Again, our graphic work is incredible. So we're very proud of what our group does. We're gonna continue focusing in on the community and what we can do in that space. So we always support a Latino or immigrant focused organization every time we're raising funds. We want to make sure that we have, the welcoming is really and belonging is really important for us. So we want everyone welcome and everyone feeling like they have a place. And we know that's a little more challenging this year than ever. So we want to continue to be that and stand for that and do it in an upbeat way and a very infectious way.
thank you again. Thank you again so much. Boys, any other questions for Cece today?
Hmm.
I'm gonna go sign up as soon as we're done here.
Wonderful. Well, I will say just one thing, especially because you guys are city boys. I must say that Santos is female led.
Mhm.
And even from a founding board and executive board has more females than men. And so we're very proud of that too, and making sure that we have that representation. Again, the belonging is the part that we want to make sure is there. And we like to defy a lot of, stereotypes and what people think. I'll just tell you my personal story on the capo stand. So I obviously went to FC games and, chanted just because it's all, it's like an earworm, everything's stuck in there. And I was in the supporter section in a game in like April, and I was chanting everything. And one of the ladies in Santos said, "Why don't you go on the stand and do that?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding? Like, no, like I'm here, but like I don't need to be there." And she's like, "What, you know everything?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's fine." And then I looked at the stands, and it was 3 stands, and it was 3 men. And I looked at this like the crowd, and I was like, "Well, there sure are women up here. Why aren't there women down there?" And so I went to the next practice, and I have not gotten off the stand since. So for me, even when I'm tired, I look to be replaced by female, not male. And again, I'm not like weird about that. I just want to make sure there's representation
Of
and that
course.
there's,
Absolutely.
that sense of belonging. So, that's literally why I'm down there. I was like, I want to make sure that the ladies know that they're welcome as well.
Yes, yes. Representation matters. I know I speak for the other two guys here, but we're big fans of women in football and women in sports in general. So, of course, ladies, get out there. Let's get involved in Santos and football in general. Let's just keep supporting the game and getting active.
Story.
It's awesome.
What a story. I think my final question, Cece, just before you go, is what is your favorite TIFO that you all have done? Your favorite one? Because
Ooh.
Santos has some great ones.
Um, um, I mean the meaning behind the wall of sound and including everyone I think was really special. I do think the one we did, the The first one that we did in season 2 was the one that had the Loteria card that said, keep fighting with heart. I think that came at a point in the season where, things we had been on the struggle bus for a while. So I think that was kind of to show like we're still here. We're gonna keep working on it. We know the heart is really important for us in our symbolism, and just wanting to make sure that it was a beautiful piece. The way that the logo and the actual like anatomic part came together is really nice. So I don't know. I like them all. I like the Somos City one with the woman
Yes,
playing the
iconic.
murga. Like
Yeah.
it's like picking your favorite child, right? They're each your favorite for a reason. So no. So that's
All
kind
right, we won't make you pick just one.
of awesome. Well, I'm
Right.
really pleased to be able to join you all today and get to know you more. And of course, anything you ever need from Santos, we're here to spice it up.
Yes, and if you guys ever need to make another extracurricular announcement, I guess I would classify
Yeah.
this as, definitely feel free to come back, shoot us a message over any of our socials, and we would love to have you guys back on.
Awesome. Happy to be here.
Sweet. Well, I'm gonna rip the outro unless any of you have anything else to add.
Feeling good, feeling good. Yes, thank you once again for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of the City Boys. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment if you are on YouTube. If you are on Spotify, make sure you follow, rate 5 stars, and most importantly, do not forget to tell your mother you love her. Peace.
Vamos,
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 St.
St.
Louis.
Louis.
Vamos,
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 St.
St.
Louis.
Louis.
Let's go.